the medicine. Cause you thought you were better than a son. I keep playing this in orbit while I be coming with deeper and more shit. Enough to make you break and shake your ass out today. Rhyme good as a tasty cake. Makes this style I'm mastered in. Nigga chest and headache sweat. What? You need aspirin? The type of pain you couldn't even kill with might on. What? Round gets sprayed with lights on. In your face like the can of paint, baby. Is it burning? Well, see now, you learning how. I don't even like your profile. It's like wow. Bad style, that's even heard. No one knows, you forget.
No drama here.
Quiet as cat. Now you know nothing. Before you know a whole blood clot lot, you don't want to get shot. A lot of MCs came to my showdown and watched me put the Lord. Without a doubt, I never been fucking out by a nigga who couldn't think of. Yeah, by a nigga who couldn't think of. Yeah, by a nigga who couldn't think of how to pull a gun trigger. Get out of here! Nigga, when they get too close to the utmost, when I got set to attack any whack hole, introducing your fuck that nigga's name. My hip hop stops on your head like rain, and when it rain, it pours. Cause my rhymes hardcore. That's why I give you more of the raw. Tell them that I got more of that spot. MCs, I'll be burning hot. Whoa, ho, ho. Let me like slow up with the flow. If I move too quick, oh, you just won't know. I'm homicidal when you're into the target. Nigga, get up, act like a pig, try to hog shit. Well, kick your ass out quick, the mic done had it, my nigga. You can suck for dead. If you want to step to my motherfucking race. Blow, blown to death. You got shot, but you knock. Who's there? Another motherfucking hard rock. Slacking on your back because Ross wouldn't laugh. You want to react, bring it on back.
Yeah, and Bougie Molly's on a time schedule as well. Okay, he has another, you know?
So y'all got me played. Okay, let's go.
I don't even know right, this is a conversation that's just starting. You don't know what I'm about to
I could have heard the word we had.
And what I meant is that I don't do this by myself. Reparations has been a great help, and he knows to hit up the replacements that we have. So that's what I meant by weed.
Shame with you when you step up. Shame with you when you step up. No dirty bastard. Brooklyn. Shame on you when you step up. No dirty bastard. Brooklyn. Why? My nigga.
Man, look, this is that dirt is hot. I got that dirt for these niggas, man. That's that dirt, man. What the fuck? Yo, hey, General, what are you doing? What are you doing, General?
No, you can have it.
Oh my God.
Is there any more requests? Just put it in the comments until we get other judges here. What's up, you know? But yeah, music as of right now. We're waiting on the judges, just talking shit.
Microphone check up, swinging sword like Chuck, closing down the second protect up. Better want them kids at the mecca. Woman pop, pop the blow is clear from the pressure. Too hot for TV, for cheesy. Too many wanna be hard, be easy. It's all in together, going all out together. It don't take much to please me. Still, homes are never satisfied like the stones. Don't fight and see them selling crossbones. Protecting what I'm writing. Don't clash with the titan. Who flash with a license to kill rap recycling. Come on, in the zone with your nigga from the group home to cow. Lifestyle, put your lights out. Get this shit to cracking, got you feeling with your pipes out. Time for some action. Surfing the avenue, mad at you. Where I used to battle you. Back when Antoinette had that attitude. Cover me, I'm going in. Walls closing in. Got us busting off these pistols. My niggas got issues again. Same song, armed with the mega bomb. Blow you out the frame, then I'm gone.
Yo, I was going too, but we roam. Cellular phones, doc meth, back in the flesh. Blood and bones, don't condone. Spin bank loans and homegrown. Suckers break like turbo in ozone. When I grab the broom, moonwalk, platoon hawk. My goons bark, leave you in the blue lagoon lost. Behinds in the club with Masood, he died in the club, right behind on the balls. Haters don't touch, way is both doped up, got the cable hooked up. All channels, lift my shirt, all mammal. You ship off keys and we ship grand piano. All shotgun, hand on the pump, sipping on the 40, smoking on the blood. Bust my gun, red and meth, didn't jump. La 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 la.
Did that to Leon like that, man? Why they got Leon looking like that?
Come on, red and meth, didn't jump. La 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 la.
You know what, man? Forget it. Y'all doing Leon like that, man. Let that man live.
At any time, specifically with my or anyone that has my number, if my phone will go out, y'all can look at it because sometimes my Galaxy network just goes out. And I have my iPhone right here.
From the depths of the sea, back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg, funky at the dot. Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Long Beach, just a spot with my first McCain. Follow me, but don't lose your grip. 9 slip, they get there for me to follow.
All the emotions of music.
Motherfucker, I got 5 on the 20 slack. It's like that.
That's what we literally talking about.
Cause I never hesitate to put a nigga on that.
Yeah, so keep out the man.
Put the fool on his head.
What's my motherfucking name?
Oh, Tanya, I heard you have a message debate coming up. After the concert. Yeah. Okay. If you're not ready.
So, not that I'm not ready. I don't know.
Hits the bow to the wild, creeping and crawling, and you can get stolen. Snoop Doggy Dogg in the motherfucking house, like yeah. Dropping shit with my nigga Mr. Dr. Dre. Like I said, nigga can't fuck with this.
Kenzo and Jay
Nigga can't fuck with that. Shit that I drop, cause you know it don't stop. It's the one nothing on the motherfucking top. Tick-tock, now what I clock, just some nuts in the pot. Robbing motherfuckers, and I kill them blood clots. And I step through the fog, and I creep through the small. Cause I'm Snoop Doggy Doggy.
Okay, so I hit up the replacement. I'm waiting for them to come. I hit up my 2 replacements.
Now just throw your hands in the motherfucking air and wave the motherfuckers like you just don't care. Yeah, roll up the dank and hold the drink and wipe your stank. The doggies on the gang. My bank up on smoke.
Everybody
I just won't make the jet now I'm on parole.
Y'all don't get no fees for that.
With the dog pound right behind me and up in your bitch is where you might find me slinging that Jeep. She was the nigga with the biggest nuts. And guess what?
Here.
He is I and I am him. Slim with the Tilted friend. What's my motherfucking name?
So we're about to get started once either Humble or Munchie or Jay Wood pops in the room.
I'm on the phone one. I'm in like a easy mom.
Or even my girl Ruby. Y'all know Ruby? We heard from the town. You missed Philville.
They were playing the song. That's all. Can y'all believe Master Slim, Elder, Elder of this community is much older than 7? Let me stop. Before you start saying I'm manipulating
Ruby, if you're still in the room, can you hop up into a box real quick? Hey, Ruby. I'm about to spring a whole lot on you right now. I'm sorry. But, yes, okay. So, with this being said, we are looking like we're down a judge, and I was wondering if you would be willing to judge if Tanya and Elder Slim would cool with that. Do y'all know Ruby, Tanya, Ruby, Elder Slim? Say hi.
I don't know Ruby.
Okay.
Is this supposed to be the new judge?
I mean, all I'm saying is that we're waiting on on another judge. I'm giving them 2 more minutes to come into the room. But Bougie is on a time schedule, and I'm trying to be mindful of that.
Hey, I think y'all, I think
it's definitely not because of you. It's because of a judge that's not here right now. Yes, that's the question. So we would like you to fill in for us if you are willing.
Yes, that is me.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, let's get a white person.
Okay, Kenzo is back, and then we're going to do 1 more minute. Ruby, I'm going to ask you to box 6, and then box 2 is going to be for rep. Box 2 is going to be for rep. Rep is going to be our fact checker tonight, but because he's recording, he needs to stay in the comments. So go as, we're going to do everything the same, but if you need a fact check, he's going to hop up real quick, let you know what you need to know, and he's going to drop right back down. So the fact checkers are here. With that being said, we are
hold on one second.
Everybody,
hold on, Issa. Give me the criteria for the judging criteria. Is it the same kind of judging criteria? What's the criteria?
Exactly the same. Okay, I'm going to send it.
Signed Eminem, Haze, triple platinum, doing 50 a week still. I stay close to the heat. Even when I was close, well, hell's a beat. I bring the fire to your soaking in your seat. It's not a fluke, it's the trial corner with your block.
This is what we're working with. Perfect. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to need everyone who is not a part of the debate to please drop down.
I don't know
Right, it's a debate happening, hon. And if you're not a part of it, I need you to drop down to the comments. Thank you, appreciate you. I don't know what you got going on, Reno, but I wish you keep it out off my panel. I don't know what's going on with you and these people, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. Thank you. With that being said, Mark. Okay. Can I get Elder Slim in box 2, please? We're going to have y'all right next to each other. We're going to feel the burn here. All right. With that being said, we are about to get started. Thank y'all for coming to the debate, the DOC presents, which really just means the duel of concepts, where we have dynamic exchanges with bold arguments, thoughts, and expressions. Today we have a good one, a little bit of nostalgia, if you will. We have, did 90s gangster rap ruin the black community? I'm excited. I'm really excited for this one. So let's get right into it. So first, I'm going to introduce my co-host and timekeeper, Kenzo. Kenzo, would you like to, say anything to the people? Any of your followers that came just to see you?
No. Y'all make sure y'all gift a lovely lady, Issa Queen, Tanya. Just gift the panel. Be a great debate. I'm rooting for Elder. Don't let me down, Elder. Don't let me down, brother. Don't let me down. But I think it's going to be a good debate. If y'all want to come, check me out. Kenzo1014 is my big ol' ID. I got my co-founder, Mother, in box 8. Great host. She got a good panel as well as Issa Queen. So y'all just come through, check us out. That's all okay. Say on it.
Yes, exactly. Not only gift everybody, please follow everybody on the panel. Everybody here has some great things going on in their panels. Mugga, Ruby, General, J-Mo. J-Mo don't really go loud like that, but Bougie, Tanya, Elder Slim, please follow. So tonight we have Tanya arguing that the 90s gangster rap ruined the black community. And we have Elder Slim arguing that it didn't. Our judges for tonight will be Mugga, Ruby, standing in for Jay Wood. We have Bougie Ma, Big General, and last but not least, we have J Mo. Now let's quickly get into the rules so we can get started. We have a 5-minute opening, 3 5-minute rounds, and 3 4-minute rebuttals, along with 3 4-minute counters. Judges will be judging on how they directly address the topic, clearly explain their position, if they made a convincing case, if they use specific evidence to explain their issue, explain the other side's weakness, and for the counter, respond directly to the opposing side's critique. So judges, you will be able to give 6 points to each debater every round. Each judge will have 2 minutes to give their thoughts, comments, and questions in between each round. But the scoring, this is different this week, people. The scoring will be given at the end of the debate, along with your final judgment. So please keep it in mind that you will not be giving out your score in between the rounds, only at the end. So please write down what you give each contestant. So as far as the audience, we are changing the rule for this debate. As requested by the debaters, the audience will be dealing in a popular vote. The audience will be given a chance to speak their thoughts in the comments, and that I will read, and we will participate. As I said, we will participate in a popular vote. No, this vote will not be added to the final score. I am sorry for that. This is just a popular vote that each debater will be able to win. Finally, fact checker. He is in the comments, but he is here because he is recording and he is a man with many hats. So if you have any fact checking to be done, please say it before you start your rebuttal. So he will have time to fact check. We will allow 1 minute and 30 seconds for you to respond to said fact check. With all of that being said, are y'all ready? Kenzo, are you ready with my timekeeping? So let's get started. We're going to roll the dice to see who goes first. Tanya, Elder, let me know when you're...
Nah, you don't even have to do that. Let Tanya go first. Tanya could go first. I'm good. You ain't got to roll no dice.
I have to roll that dice because maybe I don't want to go first.
Right, how you know?
Let's go. Roll the dice.
Stop manning this thing, okay? Stop manning.
Can I say really quick? Kenzo, timekeeper, can you not verbalize the time I have left? Just because it will kind of throw me off. So I have you can just tell me like when time is up instead of like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, blah, blah, blah. If that works.
All right, how much minutes is it?
Okay, so we're going to have a 5-minute stopwatch, a 4-minute stopwatch, and a 2-minute stopwatch. Okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna keep calling it out before every round, so don't worry about it. So with that being said, we're gonna get the dice ready. Let me know when you have your dice ready.
Okay, my dice is ready.
Ready.
Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna roll the dice. 1, 2, 3. One more time, y'all. Right. 1, 2, 3. All right, Tanya, you get the pick.
All right, this is the opening. All right, 1 second.
Who's going first? You or Elder?
I'll go first.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So, Kenzo, please. Yeah, Kenzo, can we get 5 minutes on the clock, please?
Tell me when.
Let us know when you're ready, and then tell Tanya when she can go.
Go ahead, Tanya. You ready?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tanya. I'm ready to dive into a heated debate on a crucial topic: how 90s gangster rap played a role in the decline of, and AKA ruined, the Black community. So picture this: the blazing beats of the 90s gangster rap anthem reverberating through the air with its raw lyrics and its edgy narrative. Behind this infectious allure lies a darker agenda, an agenda that actively works against the progress and the unity of our community. So let me paint you this vivid picture. This music genre wasn't merely a representation of just urban strife. It was an insidious marketing tool crafted, packaged, and sold to intensify the targeting of Black individuals by law enforcement. It did more than just entertain. It bolstered the prison-to-pipeline system, an oppressive cycle effectively shackling our people. Gangster rap fractured the sacred core of the community, which is our family, the family structure. Through distorted portrayal heavily influenced by society bias, it reprogrammed the perception of Black men regarding their most treasured counterparts, us, Black women. The narrative was not born out of authentic experiences, but rather out of the lens tinted by white societal expectations and prejudice. And let's not overlook the ever so pervasive issues helped to perpetuate: colorism, gun violence, sexual assault, and murder. These horrors highlight and are glorified and became an autopilot lifestyle, creating a sense of normalcy around oppression. Now, some, like Elder Slim, may argue that the genre offered an unfiltered glance into the struggles of urban life. But what if we scrutinized it with a discerning eye? What if gangster rap was a premeditated creation designed to reinforce the portrayals of Black culture? The music industry, hand in hand with media conglomerates, often took artists estranged from genuinely impoverished communities and propped them up as the face of Black authenticity. This deliberately crafting mirrored the systemic underpinnings seen in aborted historic events like the Jim Crow era and the annihilation of Black Wall Street. That's right, 90s gangster rap wasn't just a genre. It was the modern iteration of age-old systemic forces intended to halt our advancement. So to sum all this up, to sum all this up, gangster rap glorified an illusion, a perilous fantasy that perpetuated rather than addressed the actual fight within the Black community. This time we dissect this shiny veneer of genre and confront the injustices it covertly endorses. So here's what I pose. This challenge to you, Elder Slim: can we continue to celebrate an art form that beneath its gritty surface worked relentlessly against it? So today I'm going to pull back the layers and reveal the truth about 90s gangster rap. And I know.
You got 105 left, Tanya. You wanna use that or give it to Slim?
No, I yield.
All right.
All right, perfect. Elza, it's on you. That was beautiful. You ready, Elza?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the clock, Kenzo. Let them know when to start.
All right, go ahead, stop.
I'm here to let y'all know that gangster rap. Well, you know what? Before I even get to that, let me give y'all the definition, because the title says 90s gangster rap ruined the Black community. So let's go ahead and go into the definition of the word ruin. First, reduced to a state of decay, collapse, or disintegration. All right, so that's talking about buildings. So what if we're talking about people having been irreparable damage or harm. So basically, what she's saying is that y'all, so-called black men and women, are irreparable. That's what she's saying that gangster rap did. The only thing that gangster rap did is basically let you know what was going on in a lot of these inner cities. That's it. It was just a platform to bring attention to the issues plaguing poor and working low-class communities. That's all it did. Some of these so-called rappers was a lot of them were just studio gangsters, but a lot of them also helped out the community overall. But that's it. I yield.
You got 340 left. You yield with that? All right,
Yep.
all right, that's
Okay, with that being said, nice, short, and to the point. So we're gonna move on to round one. We are started with you, Tanya. Can you please have 5 minutes on the clock for round one?
And just a reminder, I don't need a reminder for the timing. You can tell me when it's up. My time's up. If that's fine.
that's cool. You can start. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, starting now.
All right. So round one for me is entitled "The Rise of the Gangster, the Fall of the Black Man." So I argue that 90s gangster rap had a profoundly negative impact on the black community, serving not just as entertainment, but as a catalyst for destruction and a systemic effort to perpetuate oppression. Okay? Let's consider this infamous beef between East Coast and West Coast feuds, former friends Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G. We all know about that feud. This wasn't just music rivalry, or as Slim said, people that were just faking the funk. It was a cultural phenomenon intertwined within real life violence. Tupac was gunned down in 1996. He was just 25 years old. Biggie met the same fate a mere year later at the tender age of 24 years old. Let that sink in. These weren't 35 and 40-year-olds. 24 and 25. These deaths shocked the world. Their lives were ultimately a warning. Violence has finally transcended music and infiltrated our reality. Now let's get down to the numbers. Y'all know I like statistics. So statistics from the FBI Uniform Crime Report show that during the rise of gangster rap, there was a noticeable uptick in gang violence in cities like Los Angeles and New York. Shooting incidents and murders dramatically increased. Here's another statistic. The National Institute of Justice reported that gang-related homicides soared over 30% during the mid-90s, suggesting a disturbing correlation between the genre, 90s gangster rap, glamorization of violence, and the rise in youth violence. Is this a coincidence? The lyrics themselves are very telling. Let's take Tupac's "Pin 'Em Up," where brazenly he raps, "Grab your Glock when you see Tupac. Call the cops when you see Tupac." Or what about Biggie's "Who Shot Him?" A track blurring the lines between studio bravado and street reality. Such lyrics romanticize and normalize gang life, turning dangerous lifestyles into spectacles. A cool aspirations, for our young minds. But it didn't stop there. This genre reinforced harmful stereotypes about black men. Lyrics depicting black men as violent criminals easily fit into broader societal justices, and let's just say global societal precedents, and discrimination. The media capitalized off of this. Frequently, they painted black communities with the same broad negative strokes, feeding systemic racism and institutional bias. A young black man listening to these songs could be both inspired to walk a dangerous path, but unjustly profiled by society. It's like damn if you do or damn if you don't. So what's the real takeaway here? Gangster rap of 90s didn't just entertain, right? It reshaped perception, it molded the behaviors, and it impacted realities, often far worse, death. Glorified violence led to real violence. It funneled and fueled youth into dangerous lifestyles and perpetuated damaging stereotypes. And we just cannot deny its infectious beats, the raw storytelling. All of that was great, the expression, the artistic expression, but neither can we ignore the wake of destruction and the destruction it left behind. And I yield.
Okay.
Perfect. So, Elder Slim, are you ready for your rebuttal? And please remember that you do have a fact checker. So if you want to fact check, this is the time.
Trying to think about the rebuttal because I saw that she went to the black man.
For now.
Let me ask you something with the Tupac and Biggie situation. Because you said that do you know that a lot of that stuff was, how can I put it? You know what? I'm not gonna do rebuttal at all. I won't do a rebuttal. We good. I will not do a rebuttal.
I want my counter.
You want your counter?
Right, you have a rebuttal. Like, you don't have to take the whole 4 minutes if you want to just ask her certain questions so she can have something to counter.
You want me to focus on Tupac and Biggie? I can.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not taking your... Hold on.
No.
Are you taking your rebuttal? No? Okay.
No.
So, Tanya, you have 4 minutes for your counter.
All right.
4 minutes on the clock.
Slim, you sure you don't want to rebuttal that? Slim, you sure you don't want to rebuttal that? Are you sure?
She said a lot. She did say a lot.
You should be taking notes, like I'm going to be taking. All right,
I'm
anyway,
taking
let's
notes.
dive in. All right, so
Go ahead.
I've heard that the claims that black folks brought stereotypes on themselves, right? Let's just say if he says this, even though he didn't. I'm going to say this. That's like blaming the mirror for your bad hair day. Gangster rap is the culprit. It was the tool. Okay, so first let's talk about hip-hop. I separate the two. I think 90s gangster rap was a subset and a tool, and hip-hop was an expression, an artistic expression. So let's not forget that these artists were storytellers. I'm not taking that away from them. They narrated tales from their environment, as Master Slim stated, that many would rather ignore. Tupac and Biggie didn't just rap about struggles for fun. They lived it. So, yeah, I agree with that part. Their lyrics came from the streets. They came from where survival was an everyday battle. There was nothing glitz and glamorous. There wasn't a Hollywood set. It's kind of like if Shakespeare wrote about today, modern day streets. They would call it poetry, right? So when we do it, it's not necessarily called poetry, right? It's called hip hop. Now, speaking on the surroundings, I want to give 90s gangster rap context because I think context is key. So these artists were products of social economic conditioning. And again, they were products of social economic conditions that hardly gave them a fair shot. So imagine being handed lemons your whole life, and then someone mocked you from actually making lemonade. So Tupac and Biggie faced real life stakes with tragic outcomes reflecting the violence that they rapped about. Their stories weren't just in songs, they were in real life cautionary tales. And as I mentioned before, they were cut short at respectively 25 and 24. Barely older than a high school student today. So, as we all understand that, yes, it's art, hip hop. But on the flip side of that, let's spotlight the real hustlers behind the record label. While artists pour their heart and sometimes their blood into music, labels will last their way all the way to the bank. Here's another statistic. In 1999, hip-hop ranked over 500 million in sales, but guess who saw just crumbs of that pop? Not the artist, that's for sure. Major labels like Sony Music, Universal, Interscope, they were the real corporates, turning pain into profit without batting an eye. Now some seasoned wisdom here. Many artists have turned around and even called this exploitation out. They've outgrown the chains of these opportunistic labels, aborting their success. Gangsta rap was a tool for stereotypes, as I mentioned, and you'll hear me keep saying that over and over again. The rap game itself would be speaking a different story today had gangsta rap not been used to commercialize the struggles of our people. So let's just keep it real and give credit where credit is due. Hip-hop isn't the villain. Yes, it's in a reflection, it's a powerful narrative, whooping is the fabric of lies, of expression. However, the morphing of exaggerated poetry, aka gangster rap, has stripped out people from its dignity. So it's imperative to recognize that artists themselves, like I said, were often victims of social economic conditions. All right? For an example, rapper Ice-T, he spoke out many a time about how the industry capitalized on the aggressive narrative without considering long-term impact on artists and the community.
Time.
These voices.
Time, son.
Got it.
Perfect. So, Elder, whatever you wanted to say in your rebuttal, your round one argument is about to start right now. You could throw it right at the top of that, okay?
Okay.
Kenzo, let them know when you're ready. 5-minute round one.
All right, I'm ready. You ready, Slim?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
So again, with this 90s gangster rap that ruined the black community, again, we're still standing. But one, it was more Caucasians that bought gangster rap than black folks. That's one. All right. And believe me, the white men the white men and women ain't shooting each other up like that.
Can I do a fact
and
check?
Black people. Oh, you go. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Pause the time real quick. Yes, you could do a fact check, but you have to write it down and save it for your rebuttal.
Oh, got it.
No problem. And can you mute because we're getting a little, yes, thank you. Go ahead. And you too, Elder. When it's her turn to speak, I need you to mute because it's a little messed up. All right, Kenzo, start the clock.
Okay,
go
so like I was saying, there was a lot of white folks that bought. As a matter of fact, more whites than blacks bought quote unquote gangster music. A lot of these guys did not do the things that they were doing in the music, and of course, and a lot of them also helped out the community. We also had fashion that we also had a lot of these rappers that came out with fashion, i.e. Cross Colors, FUBU, No Limit Gear, Rockaware. So a lot of these guys made a lot of money. We also have a lot of young folks that also became producers because of this stuff and rappers. You know what I'm saying? So these were ways for these guys to come out and make money. But the only thing these guys was doing was just talking about what was going on in the streets. That's it. But these guys wasn't really doing it like that. And to be honest, besides with Biggie and Tupac, it really wasn't that many murders like that with these rappers out there. Biggie and Tupac it was a miscommunication with what happened with Biggie and Tupac. That's why them two guys died. Because of which is what happened with a lot of these rappers, miscommunication. That's all it is. But that's it.
Okay, you got 3 minutes. You got 3:50. We wanna give it to Tanya or what?
No, you can give it to Tanya.
Okay. Pause. Okay. Rep, I'm gonna open up box 4 for you, so you could respond to Tanya's fact check when she's ready.
What I'm specifically wanting to fact check is during the flight of gangster rap at the large tumor. I have a different number.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Rep to do that, we're gonna let Tanya know at 1 minute and 30 seconds to stop, Kenzo, so we can let Rep give her the answer to her fact check. and then she can respond to the fact check. Please repeat what you said, Tanya, for rep.
I just want to make sure that the fact is that the largest consumers of hip hop during the 90s, when the actual rap was out, was black people, teenagers, black teenagers was the largest consumer. Master Slim said that white people were. All right. Should I go?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. Rep, when you're ready, just pop up in the box. Again, Kenzo, can you stop Tanya at 1 minute and 30 seconds so she can respond to the fact check? All right. Excel, I need you to drop down to the comments, Excel.
You want me to give her a slim time that he already had, or you want me to give her a whole new 4 minutes?
It's a whole new 4 minutes. And Excel, I need you to drop down. That spot is for rep, honey. Okay. You're taking too long. So.
All right, Ty, you ready? Ready, Ty?
All right, I'm ready. All right, let's get one thing straight. There's a difference between artistic expression and just plain explicit content. All right, so many of the lyrics from the 90s gangsta rap are notorious, again, for glorifying violence, drug use, and misogyny. And I'm going to hit you with another stat. So according to a study from the Journal of Youth and Adolescence, exposure to aggressive content has been linked to increased aggressive and violent behavior amongst teenagers. Again, this was the Journal of Adolescence in 2003. So if your daily mantra is Hakuna Matata and less straight out of Compton, you might want to keep your earbuds free from lyrical landmines like 90s gangsta rap. Let's consider a broader implication of the lifestyle glorified in gangsta rap. So many of the artists you hear hail from their authenticity, raw representation of life, and they have tragedies that probably may have succumbed them, right? To now, supposedly they live in a very lifestyle as they projected, like Master Smith is saying, they got clothing lines, they got all this jewelry, they got all this, they got wealth. Let's just take Eazy-E for an example. I'm more convinced that these individuals have died by the very words that they project. So Eazy-E, for an example, he's a founding member of NWA, which stood for Niggas with Attitude. He died from complications related to AIDS in 1995. A casualty of his fast-paced life. It was very reckless lifestyle, and all of this was surrounding his career, right? His tragic fate reflected a large narrative of how the culture surrounding gangsta rap often prioritized temporary things over long-term health and well-being, and even death. So y'all gonna bring up people like Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, and 50 Cent. So while I recognize artists like them have found a way to sustain long-term careers after 90s gangsta rap, specifically Snoop Dogg, right? But they've done so not without acknowledging that earlier consequences of gangsta rap and its lifestyle. Many artists who embrace the persona that gangsta rap demands ultimately were faced with violence, betrayal, or even incarceration. Let's just take Suge Knight for example.
You could remind me at 1:30.
Sorry, y'all breaking up.
I'm sorry, baby, but just so you can be able to respond to the fact check that you asked for. Rep said that the largest consumer of gangster rap in the 90s were young white males, despite the roots in the black community. 1,000,000,000% true. Oh, that was somebody else.
What's the source on that?
And can we have the source as well, Rep?
Yeah, I want to. Hold on, let me ask my question about this. That's okay.
You have a counter coming up. Don't worry, Elder. Once we get this response
the Pew Research Center in 1997 says different. And the source that I have is the Pew Research Center, 1997, The Future of Black America, a study of social changes, focused specifically on the roots of cultural hip-hop and gangster rap.
Rev, can you hop up in the box for me real quick?
And actually, the growing popularity of Caucasian listeners, this is according to Nielsen SoundScan in 1999, were Caucasian. There was an emergence of a crossover artist like Eminem that made this pivotal attraction to white folks. And that's according to Nielsen SoundScan. So I would just like to know, because my two sources are pretty Pew Research Center and Nielsen SoundScan. Nielsen SoundScan actually deals within the scanning and digital scanning of music. So I like to know where that was from. But I think to just continue on. I don't care about him not getting the point or not. I just wanted to know where that came from. And I'm not reading the comments.
That's the only thing. It does matter because of the simple fact that he could lose a point for it. That's why I was letting them figure it out. So she doesn't lose a point for fact checking anything. So whenever Rep is able to hop up in the box, he's recording right now, so it might echo. That's why he's trying to stay in the comments.
That's fine.
But if you can, so if you can just write out what sources you had in the comments, Rep, and we could just move on. Tanya, you still have 1:30 seconds left.
All right.
Go right ahead.
So, as I mentioned, just to remind folks that many artists embrace their persona that gangster rap demanded, but ultimately was forced with violence. All right. So groups like NWA, for you young folks, that niggas with attitude, they struggled even within internal discourse. Like they were, and it didn't lead to their breakups. We all heard their diss tracks amongst each other, right? This was rooted in clashes that was exacerbated by various environments that they actually rapped about. So the legacy of violence embedded in these narratives have created fractured communities and friendships. We saw with Biggie and Tupac, who were once friends. This often indirectly to the message of empowerment that some might suggest. Let's consider ODB. We talked about violence. We talked a little bit about misogyny. I'm going to get into that. But let's talk about the drug use. ODB, Old Dirty Bastard, was a member of Wu-Tang Clan, whose life was marked by a myriad of personal struggles, including drug addiction. So he died on November 13th of 2004, just 2 days before his 36th birthday, from a drug overdose. Music writer, I want to quote someone, music writer Steve Huey noted it was difficult for observers to tell whether ODB was wildly erratic, and his wildly erratic behavior was because of a serious drug problem or a genuine mental instability. This illustrates.
That's just time. And Elder, we are ready for you and your counter.
Okay, so first of all,
hold on. Let Kenzo. Hold on. 4 minutes on the clock, Kenzo.
Go ahead, Elder.
All right, so first of all, I don't even know why she said easy. Why she said and the way NWA broke up was through violence. I'm sure that most of you seen the movie. It has something to do with money. Ice Cube, who did not want to sign a contract because of money. Dr. Dre, he did not want to stay with NWA because of money. It had nothing to do with violence at all. Now, with Eazy-E, it's up in the air about him not the fact that he died with AIDS or it had nothing to do with sex. They're thinking that it was a conspiracy. So we're not even sure about that. Because watching the interview with BG Knockout, one day he was good, the next day he was sick. He was coughing and he was sick. And then it happened within less than 48 hours. And all of a sudden he got AIDS. And other people have even talked about that you don't get AIDS like that. They don't. So, but again, we keep saying that that 90s gangster rap has destroyed the black community when we've had a lot of black men and women that have that have got into Congress, that have businesses, that have great jobs. So I don't understand why she's saying that 90s gangster rap destroyed the black community. But that's it. That was my rebuttal.
All right.
Okay. We are about to go into round 2. And in round 2, we are. Did you want to say something, Jean?
Oh no, I just wanted to remind him it's 5 minutes for round 2, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
I got you. So it's gonna be. We're about to get into round 2. We're gonna have 5 minutes on the clock. Kenzo, let Elder know when you're ready. Elder is on mute.
All right. You ready, Elder?
Oh, this is round 2? That's what y'all said? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm not gonna be long with you guys. So like I said previously, black men and women still progress. I mean, we're talking about rappers. She's saying that these rappers, and most of them were from the West Coast that were considered gangster rappers. You can't tell me that these same gangster rappers influenced over a million black men and women to become degenerates or whatever she wants, or destroyed or ruined. We're still standing today in 2024. And on top of that, you had parental advisory on a lot of these records. So again, are we really going to blame the rappers for some of this stuff that's quote unquote going on in the black community, or should we blame it because she said some of the young teens? Should we blame the parents for them getting the rap? Because I remember when I was growing up, I couldn't buy no rap music. By the time Tupac died, I was already in basic training. So we got NWA they talked about express yourself. They talked about F the police, but they were talking about what was going on with the police. Again, some of y'all could go watch the movie NWA, and you'll see what was going on. So the only thing that the music really did is open your eyes to what was going on in the community. There were times where some of these guys were saying some certain things that they didn't like, but maybe some of this stuff was the truth. Whether they were talking about the men or the women, they were just opening, and that's all music has been doing for us anyway. It just opens up our eyes to see what's really going on in a lot of these communities and what's going on in the world. That's it. And I'm done.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
So,
hold on.
I get 4 minutes.
What? Yeah, 1 second. Kenzo, you ready with the 4 minutes?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead, Train.
All right. So while you argue that 90s gangster rap shared some light on harsh realities of the inner city, I see comments saying, "Oh, it didn't just affect us and things like that." But we're still at the bottom of the barrel of everybody when it comes to economics, when it comes to money, when it comes to everything. But we're high on the scale of homicide, murder, and so. It sheds some light on the realities of the inner city. It often overshadowed other critical voices and narratives that were constructive, actually, and solution-oriented. Let me give you an example. Why don't we celebrate the poets? Y'all heard of Rhapsody, right? Talib Kweli. I'm going to talk a little bit about him in my other round. Okay, so why do we celebrate artists who focus on empowering messages and social change? Why didn't the industry engineer a movement for positivity in the black community? Imagine if we gave as much airplay to figures promoting positive activism instead of, lyrical takedowns and perceived enemies and gun violence and all this stuff that not only just had us just expressing ourselves, it had a global impact. Nostalgia isn't always our best friend. I get it. Nostalgia is a beautiful thing to be able to sit back, and we all love reminiscing about simpler times, and we like to reminisce. So we're talking about reminiscing about a time that kept us back.
But it's vital to recognize that all elements of the past are not always worth glorifying. Holding those good old days of gangster rap music might blind us to the detrimental impact of societal values. So when people say they don't know how it affects the black community, think about the stigmas and the stereotypes and systemic racism that kept black people from moving forward economically with jobs. Let's channel our love for the past for something more constructive, right? Because you know what they pushed in the 90s are what? The 90s boys band. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Y'all remember like a nice bass music that the white folks pushed while we were pushing hardcore, fuck you, fuck the police, fuck the world, all this anger. So while I recognize that music is a beautiful kaleidoscope of expression, there's room for endless genres and styles. But when it came to 90s gangster rap, perhaps it's worth reevaluating what we chose to amplify, what we chose to admire. There's so many positive, uplifting and creative, like alternatives out there. Maybe it was time for us to switch, and maybe we should have switched, both lyrically, literally, and metaphorically. So I want to ask Master Slim and his counter, what legacy do you think 90s gangster rap leaves for the future or left for the future? What legacy did these lyrics leave for the future? Do you see it as something that was to emulate? Did you want your kids to emulate it? Or do you think it has some negative implication for empowerment? I want you to answer that in your counter if you can. And I want you to also understand that we as a people weren't just 90s gangster rap. We weren't all just in a struggle. We're not just a monolith people. There was many colors to us, and many colors that the record label decided not to show. Many colors that the media decided not to show. Why? Because they wanted to continue to mold and push forward that black people are animals, black people are violent, black people can't move forward.
Time. So before we move into the counter, I just want to remind the judges that you are still giving these people their points for each round. I just wanted to remind you guys. And then we're going to go to Elder. Let him know when he's ready, Kenzo.
All right. 4 minutes. Elder, you ready?
I am.
Go ahead.
You know, I would really like to ask Kenya. I mean, and I know there's a counter, but these rappers had like over 12, 15 songs on their album. So I'm trying to figure out which song is she talking about, because almost every one of them rappers had inspiration on their song. We already talked about NWA, which is Express Yourself. So we got Tupac, Brenda Got a Baby, Dear Mama. So a lot of these songs actually brought a lot of us together, to be honest with you. I mean, just in the beginning, when we got in here, we were playing rap music. And guess what? A lot of us, well, I was cammed up. I was bobbing my head. A lot of y'all was singing some of the lyrics. So I think a lot of, even if you want to say gangster rap, at the end of the day, it brings us together, to be honest with you. But that's it.
All right. Time.
Okay, time. And before we go into Tanya's round, I want to give the judges a space to have 2 minutes to say what they're feeling. Please do not tell us any scores, just 2 minutes of what y'all are hearing, just a little feedback. We're going to start with Ruby.
All right, Ruby, you ready, babe? I got 2 minutes left.
I'm ready. All right. So basically what I'm hearing here is 2 arguments. What I'm looking for, though, is I do see evidence on both sides. My problem with the evidence so far, though, is it's more correlation and not causation. And I'm not sure that you can prove actual causation here, right? But I do see the correlation. That's where I'm going to end there. but I am enjoying the arguments being made. That's it for me.
All right. All right.
All right, beautifully said. Quick and to the point. General, it's on you.
All right. 2 minutes then. You ready?
Greetings. Well, so far, what I'm seeing right now from the debate, someone did a lot of research in the other part. It's kind of just like our feelings. And so that's all I got to say.
Okay, with that being said, we are going to you, Mother.
So I appreciate the passion from both sides. I'm definitely seeing the difference between facts and opinion. I really wish that Elder would elaborate a little bit more on his side so that we can have a little bit more to go off of when it comes to judging his round with these categories.
All
right, perfect. J-Mo, it's on you.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the contestants for even having this discussion. Like I said, this is right up my alley. I could piggyback off of what a few other people said, that just as far as the information goes, it could be a little bit lopsided.
Statement. That's going to be 5 minutes. Kenzo, you can let her know when you're ready.
I'm ready, Tang. On you.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm calling this round, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's take a closer look to how gangster rap has profoundly impacted the Black community, particularly shaping, again, the minds and the behavior of our youth, right? When we talk about the youth back in the day are adults now. So I want to make sure that you understand that. Imagine a world where violence or voices of rappers, rather, not just lyrics, right? So let's imagine these voices of rappers, that they're not just lyrics, but they're guiding principles for young people. To my opinion, gangster rap rose to prominence, becoming the dominant
voice and mention people icons like Tupac, Biggie, Ghetto Boys, and NWA. It had massive influences over their audience, notably teens 12 to 17. So according to the 1995 study by the Recording Industry Association of America, that's RIAA, they're the ones that certify these records, give them platinum status or gold status, right? They said that teenagers were a significant driving force behind music sales, with gangster raps topping their playlists. The power of these artists extended beyond music into the psyche of the young listeners who were eager to emulate their artists or their idols, not just
say the individuals idolize rap artists. They often aspire to not just adopt the sound and the swagger, but also their behavior and attitude. And this created peer pressure, a peer pressure loop, urging kids to align with aggressiveness and often criminal persona portrayed in the music. But that's not all. Let's explore and let's talk about the exploitation that not just being limited to males, but look at Lil' Kim. She burst on the scenes at 19 with her debut album, Hardcore. In a climate where female rappers wasn't often heard unless they were hypersexualized or objectified. Lil' Kim's image was crafted to meet the problematic industry's expectations. Her music and persona were commercialized to fit a narrow, defined, and often harmful archetype, sidelining her incredible talent in favor of a more provocative image that sold records but perpetuated stereotypes. So when you listen to gangster rap, you're not just hearing music, okay? You're absorbing the narrative, a narrative that shapes beliefs, shaped our culture, right? It encouraged behaviors, it reinforced stereotypes. And it's crucial that we understand the weight of these words and the weight that these words carry and the potential harm that it can inflict upon communities. So let's just take Lil' Kim real quick, right? In her song, she writes, kill a nigga for a nigga. Any means, bitch, murder scene, bitch, clean, bitch. Disease-free, bitch, check it. I write rhymes, melt your mouth like Eminem, Rollwood, Junior Mafia. Remember them? Lil' Kim burst on the scene with the Junior Mafia, and she was surrounded by all these heavy hitters in the rap game. Lil' Kim's own life mirrored this dangerous loyalty, right? Because it eventually led her to what? Serve time in prison. That's crazy, right? So this macho culture and gangster rap often sends subtle messages that young women's worth is really into protecting and standing by their man, kind of like a pimp and hoe business. Trina and what's his name? Trick Daddy, right? Y'all remember that? So there's influence of words, and we got to understand that these words have power. So just like we will say, Dr. Martin Luther King inspired us and all this positive change, you got to understand on the flip side that those rap lyrics glamorized violence and toughness, and they had the same influence and motivation as Dr. Martin Luther King. So Tupac's real nigga shit, where aggression is celebrated, painted a picture of being in the real lives of different people. So again, the dilution of the stats. In 1999, Billboard report that highlighted that 18 to 24-year-olds was a booming market also for rap music. And this group was super impressionable, right? And let's not forget the ever so mysterious label Bad Bitches. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. And I yield. And I'll have 1 second.
All right. Time.
Matt, I got 1 second left. You go into Elder for his rebuttal. 4 minutes on the clock, please. Let him know when you're ready.
All right, I got 4. Elder, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, good.
You know, I find it funny that she keeps saying how impressionable black people are when it comes to rap music, and I just looked this up myself, and it still says here that the majority, about 80% of Caucasians are the ones that have bought rap music, gangster rap at that. But yet she keeps saying that we're the impressionable ones. I looked up something else, because I mean, I was born. I mean, not born. I was down in the '90s. Black men are number one when it comes to technical jobs, technical skills. So we still doing a great job. So again, I don't see how gangster rap ruined the black community, which it did not. I'm not saying that nobody should have died during that time, but it didn't ruin anything. It just shifted things. It influenced some people, but it did not ruin the whole black community at all. But that's all.
You got 250 left. You sure?
I'm done.
All right.
4 minutes. All right. All right. Look, Slim, can I ask you to consider this? If your 16-year-old daughter were exposed to such messages and the sexualization prevalent in gangster rap, would you feel comfortable with her rapping these lyrics? I asked you that before. Would you feel comfortable? Would you want her to emulate artists who promote self-worth was basically or solely based on physical attributes? So the impact young women and teenagers, that cannot be an understatement. Yes, when I keep driving in the course of this, because the major consumer was 12 to 17, they were, hell yeah, impressionable. Their brain wasn't even fully developed. I mean, when Tupac's brain became fully developed, he was murdered. 25 is when the brain is fully developed. Hell, Biggie didn't even get his brain fully developed. He was murdered at 24. So the impact young women and teenagers cannot be an understatement. They are often left to navigate the complexities of narratives without a maturity or without the necessary support to understand what they're fucking listening to. So instead of role models who were empowering and uplifting the young women and young men, they were presented with these distorted images of success. And it's like, and it's love for materialism and violence. So yeah, you're right. It's important to acknowledge social context around 90s gangster rap and how it reflected what was going on in the community, but it's not just music. It was the reflection of a harsh reality, but that, or just to say it's just reflecting, misses the whole point I'm trying to make. Because art isn't just a mirror, it's an active force. It can inspire, it can motivate, it can influence behavior. And while some might argue that the boys in the hood were just simply reflecting their environment, it's hard to ignore the way music seeps into their actions and the vocabulary. They weren't just passively listening, they were actively embodying the aggression and the defiance in the music. We saw that in gang culture, the rise in gang activity, the rise in murder, the rise in sexual assault. It was permeated throughout music. And that's just not about the context, it's about specific choices that were made within this art called music. Specifically 90s gangsta hip-hop, glorifying violence, the disregard for authority. These are not neutral elements. They have real impact. They have real impact rooted in real problems. So I see where you're coming from when you're talking about gangster rap being just this vital form of self-expression. But like I said, let's consider the genre and how it exploits and it's perpetuating harmful stereotypes. And it's reflecting in the social and societal viewpoints of black women and black men, preventing us from having opportunities, preventing us from being at the helm to compete. You say that black men were the lead in tech. Was that in the 90s?
Yes.
And I would like to do a fact check on that. Okay? Because let's just look at Trina before she made her mark in the 90s with Trick Daddy. Nah, nigga. Right?
You can't use Trina.
See? No, I want my extra 2 seconds or whatever. All right? So what I'm trying to say is that, how many seconds is this? He's throwing me off. I'm not talking to you, dude.
You got 25.
So
25. I'll give you another 5 minutes.
These people paved ways, right? For artists that we complain about today. Sexy Red, Mulatto, Asian Doll, the list goes on and on. So we can't just suggest that we're going to celebrate our predecessors while
demanding respect of our successors, like again the sexy reds, the mulatto, and the Asian doll. How can that even make sense? That you're celebrating the little Kims and dogging out the people who are just on the same path.
I gave you a little bit of extra.
Okay, that's cool.
I gave you some extra seconds.
Yeah, give it. So I'm going to unmute you, Elder Slim. Elder Slim, you cannot cut her off in the middle of her argument. You have to let her finish, and you have to add whatever it is to whatever you want to say. We're about to go into round 3, and Tanya will be starting this round. She has 5 minutes. Yeah, no problem. Well, while we're waiting, I'm just gonna quickly.
I want to say something. On what's going on. One thing Slim said earlier about the influence, it was a few rappers. I know Tupac said that he did have more white fans than black fans in his MTV interview. He was talking to the white lady when he came. I can't think of her name, but he was talking to her in the interview. He said he got more white fans than black fans. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know, how would they determine how many fans you got depending on demographic? Like, I mean, are they
by the sales?
Taking calculations of who by the sales? Okay, but again, like,
yes.
Okay, now when they go by the CD at that time, was they doing it by the county, by the city, by the area code? Like, how was they determining that this is a white boy buying this CD or a black boy if they live in there?
I'm sure they'll probably do it by the city or the area code.
Right, okay.
Okay, with that being said, all right, y'all, calm down. He's just trying to figure out how they are counting fans. Can the brother ask a question? He needs some clarification. Let him understand. No, he can't. I'm dead. We're about to go into the last and final round. Kenzo, let him know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead, Chang.
All right. So this round is called The Destruction of Family and the Misogyny. All right, so I'm about to dive into this round. In round 3, let me swipe my comments. Our debate discussed the deep impact of gangster rap, and I want to show how it had a deeper impact on the family structure, especially through the lens of misogyny. Now, when we looked at the lyrics of many gangster rap songs, one thing stands out. There's a frequent use of the derogatory term for women, bitches, right? This language isn't just for shock value. It becomes normalized and accepted in many circles. We're talking about places like Los Angeles, where even respected figures in the music industry use this word. This normalization is harmful, creating a culture where disrespecting women becomes the norm. Let's just think about it in historical context for a moment. So historically, black women, we have been the pillars of strength within the community, right? We were often seen as the backbones of the families, nurturers, caregivers, leaders. And as gangster rap emerged in the late 1980s and reached its peak in the 90s, this perception shifted drastically. With songs like from Snoop Dogg, What's My Name, and Tupac, How Do You Want It? Those songs definitely contributed to the shift, portraying women in a way that undermined our traditional roles, right? So moreover, statistics are telling. So I'm going to give you another statistic. So according to the study by the University of Missouri, Columbia, the overexposure to misogynistic lyrics has altered listeners' perception of women, specifically black women, contributing to higher instances of domestic abuse and disrespectful behavior. And this is according to the Journal of Broadcasting and Electronic Media in 2011. So this is just not a theatrical discussion of like acting. It's a real issue with tangible consequences. So when we talk about the impact of gangster rap, we're not just criticizing a genre of music. We're highlighting a broader systemic issue that affects how women are perceived and treated in our community. Let's talk about the many different rumors from Dr. Dre knocking women upside his head, and he upside their head, and he was a purveyor of gangster rap. So y'all want tangible facts? Let's just follow that. So this widespread of disrespect isn't just contained in music. It seeps into our homes, our relationships, and cultural norms. Here's another statistic. So according to a 2016 study from Journal of Adolescence Research, nearly 55% of teenage boys expressed attitudes towards women that fell in line with traditional misogynistic views, which can be traced back to the media they consume, including music. That's another effect. So when those messages are compounded by images and lyrics prevalent in gangster rap, it becomes alarmingly easy to see how these music contribute to a toxic culture. All right, folks? So let's wrap this up on a kind of high note, right? It's pretty clear that the lack of positive representation for women in gangster rap has some consequences that are frankly about as welcoming as what? Roaches? as welcoming as skunks, right? So without uplifting role models or empowering stories, many young black women feel pressured to fit into these negative stereotypes. This can lead into identity struggles, low aspirations, low self-esteem, and let's face it, it is a recipe for disaster. So the bottom line is this: gangster rap has done a real number on family structures in the black community by pushing misogynistic views that devalue women. That nasty language turns the perception of black women from queens to a more object that is scorned. And we think about the long-term fallout of these attitudes. It's obvious we need major change. So I'm going to champion for the narrative that showcases women in a positive light. Work on, kicking those toxic ideas to the curb. So only then we can start mending the cracks in our families and communities. And one thing I want to say with these last couple of seconds is that the music is a part of our culture. Culture is a part of who we are. How can we say this is just music? Music is a part of our culture. Culture is a part of who we are. How can we say this is just music? And I yield.
All right, Elder, we're about to go into your rebuttal round. We're going to have 4 minutes on the clock. Kenzo, let them know when you're ready.
You ready, Slim?
Oh, I'm ready. I find it funny that she says that gangster rap exploited women. In the 70s, we had blaxploitation movies, which exposed women. So the word bitch has been used way before gangster rap. So I don't understand why she's using 90s gangster rap to say that we have been destroying or looking down on women. And these women also have choices. They didn't have to buy the music. They didn't have to buy the music at all. I'm not going to sit here and say that women have been second class, but they've always been behind the man. But again, don't say that gangster rap is the one that had it to where women were, being called bitches and hoes when that wasn't even the thing. Again, we had blaxploitation movies. We had people that was already pimping women. So are we not going to use that? And I know we're not talking about the 70s, but again, don't blame gangster rap on why women are being downplayed like they are. And also, women were buying some of that music. You said yourself, Little Kim, she became a rap artist. I don't know why you said Trina. I don't think she started until 2000. But again, you also had great women like MC Lyte. There were some other women out there other rappers that didn't put themselves in that light. Queen Latifah. And and by the way, Trina's not a gangster rapper, but that's it.
Right.
Okay, time. Hold on. Give Kenzo a second. 4 minutes on the clock for the counter.
Good.
All right, so can I remind Elder Slim that the largest group of consumers were not women. They were kids, 12 to 17, and youth. And the women that were rapping these things, oh, they couldn't even buy a drink because they weren't even 21 yet. All right, so Elder Slim, while it's easy to dismiss the gangster rap again as merely a reflection of reality, we got to focus on and confront the darker truth. The genre, of gangster rap systemically targets and exploits young women and girls, and shaping their identities and perception of self-worth profoundly and damaging ways. Let's just take Foxy Brown, for instance. She was just 15 years old when she was discovered to be signed to Def Jam. Her debut album, Il Nana, was released when she was 17 years old. Again, she wasn't a woman. And let's consider her lyrics from that song with Jay-Z that we all be, rapping to. She was just 17. Ain't no nigga like the one I got. No one can fuck you better. By the way, this is a grown man saying, no one can fuck you better. She goes, sleeps around, but he gives me a lot. And a nigga goes, keeps you in diamonds and leather. So these lyrics present a troubling narrative where women's value is linked to the material gifts she receives from a man, further embedding the idea that relationships hinge on material and sexual transactions. Young listeners, particularly teenage girls who idolize these artists, begin to internalize harmful messages projecting the term I want to call gangsta porno rap when it comes to women. The fusion of gangster lifestyle mixed with sexual objectification not only influences how young women view themselves, but also how they perceive themselves and their worth in relationships. Let's take Eve for an example. Rapper Eve, she spelled out in her powerful track, Heaven Only Knows. She says, impressed by niggas trying to school this baby girl, I was fucking too early. 15, knowing money was green, puffing too early. Body big, not grown. Yo, I closed myself in, held myself in, exploded by myself alone. No one helping. What was I to do but cry alone at night? No one knew in the house that TV was my life. Who was I to tell and what was I to think of me? No one understood the pain that was sent to me. I broke down from the things that men will say to me, selling dreams to a naive kid. But I really had no one to tell me what to do, tell me that I was more than just pussy. This is a 15-year-old girl, not a woman. These lyrics powerfully illustrate the struggle of young women feeling lost and exploited in a world that often reduced them to just an object of desire. Eve, again, was 15 years old in 1993. Right at the crux of gangster rap, and when it peaked its popularity, when she experienced those pressures and expectations laid upon her. There was many Eves, and she went on to strip. There were many Eves, and young female artists. She grappled with the painful reality of having no guidance in her life because TV was her life. This speaks volumes about the cultural and emotional toll these influences have on young women. These are not women. These are young girls. 15, 16, 17, and 18 paired with grown-ass men. Making songs like, ain't no nigga like the one I got. Like Jay-Z said, to a 15-year-old. No one can fuck you better. And I yield.
All right, that's time.
That's time. Before we get into Elder's last round 3 statement, I just want to remind everybody that on Kenzo's channel will be an after debate show. Again, that's going to be on Kenzo's channel. I like to thank Reparations, Art. You can find him at Robo AI. He does a lot of flyers. He didn't do this one. This is all Tanya's work. But he does flyers for me on a regular occasion. And you'll be able to find this debate on YouTube at the DOC. Again, you'll find it on YouTube at the DOC. And with that being said, we are going to Elder round 3.
All right, 5 minutes.
Kenzo, 5 minutes. Let him know when you're ready.
Oh, I thought that was round 3. Oh, I thought that was round 3. My fault. My fault.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go
All right, so Kenya brought up about Trina, and she brought up about Trina and some of these other rappers. I've already said this already. If rap impress these 12 to 17-year-olds, where were the parents at? Because I'm sure that they couldn't just go into the store and just buy these records on their own. I mean, I wasn't even allowed to even buy these records at all. So again, where are these parents at where were these parents at letting these kids? And then you talked about Eve. Yeah, she said she was 16. You talked about Foxy Brown, who was 15, 16. Where were their parents at? So, I mean, we can't. Again, and here's the thing: these people were in the '90s. We're talking about kids. These adults are the ones that let these kids buy some of these records. But again, I still don't believe that overall that '90s gangster rap destroyed the black community. It didn't destroy it at all. But that's pretty much it.
All right.
Okay. Tanya, are you ready for your final rebuttal?
Yes.
Okay,
So
Kenzo, let her know 4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes.
Before I ask
No
this
problem. Wait,
rebuttal-
hold on. Go ahead, Tanya.
So before I ask this rebuttaling question, he keeps focusing on the parents. Obviously, the parents wasn't there because, again, the largest consumer. Well, why are we worried about how they purchased it and not to know that they actually purchased it? So, and he also mentioned that we're doing great. We're doing a wonderful job. We're doing this. No, we're not. We're not doing great. A lot of these artists are bankrupt. A lot of these artists don't have a pot to piss in. So you ever wonder why you're not rolling in the dough like rappers claim to be? So much of this ostentatious wealth portrayed in 90s gangster rap was, for the lack of a better term, an elaborate facade, which a lot of this stuff was a facade, which is what I'm trying to exert here. That a lot of this was facade, and kids did not interpret it as a facade. They thought this was real reality. So I do want to also put a stat here. I think it's appropriate to say that according to Forbes, the actual financial stability of many of these artists from that era was shaky at best and bankrupt at worst. And this was Forbes 2018. So when you bring up the fact that they were, they made money off of this and they did this and they were that, but where were the parents? And they didn't. No, I think we're looking at the what if. We can't go back and correct that and put the parents in place because we are talking about a specific community of people that went to work or weren't there. We understand what the crack epidemic did to the community, so you know where the parents were. So why ask that question? They weren't there. Okay, so unless you enjoy chasing this proverbial pot of gold and letting kids think or have a hopeless dream to be like their artists without any repercussion or consequences, then go ahead and push this narrative. But I want to also just mention that you're not addressing the community relations part of this. You got to admit that. You got to admit that it had a huge impact on not just the way we were viewed, but again, how we showed up into society. So, and also the antagonistic attitude towards police. And then the police in the black community and how that played out. I want to hit another thing. A study from the Public Health Journal noted that such anti-establishment sentiment could exacerbate tensions between civilians and law enforcement. And this was in the Public Health Journal of 2001 as they were examining, again, 90s gangster rap. So this question for Slim is, can you explain the impact that it had on the youth? Was it worth the risk? Was all this worth the risk that be able to bop your head to? In your opinion, how has this glorification of gang violence, gang culture, criminal behavior, criminal activity in the 90s gangster rap influenced the attitudes in a positive way? How has subjecting kids into this debauchery led to anything positive in the community? It's almost saying like, hey, look, he might be a drug dealer, he might be selling crack to his mother, but at least during Thanksgiving he's giving out turkey. You can't I can't even say the word. You can't segregate these things. You can't see people in that way. You have to understand that this is an agenda on our people. It is a next step agenda to keep us down because we have progressed and we have prevailed so much. But this is the next step. They attacked our music because music, again, is part of culture. And culture is a part of the fabric of who and what you are. And if we're not considering that, we're just considering it a piece of art, I'm sorry, we're doing ourselves a disservice. 90s gangster rap played a huge part in being the catalyst for the agenda.
All right, Elza, you are ready for your final count, sir?
Yes.
All right, 4 minutes on the clock. Kenzo, let them know when you're ready.
Good. All right, so Tanya, you used the word progress. You said that we have progressed as black people in America. So I don't believe that gangster rap really destroyed or even ruined everybody. It's over 1 million people, over 1 million black men and women in America. So it really ruined. It may have shifted certain people. It may have influenced a little bit of people, maybe a small percentage, but overall, we're still good. We're still progressing. We actually have a lot of millionaires, black men and women that are millionaires. We also have people that have been elected in office, black men and women that have been elected. We have people in leadership roles. We have people that are in medicine. We have people that are in sports, academics. So overall, we are still doing all right as black men and women. Yes, it had an impact, but it didn't really destroy or ruin a bunch of black men and women at all. It didn't do that. But that's it.
You sure you got 240 left? You don't wanna
No.
Can I
that's
ask him a question and it's 240 or no?
Alright, go ahead, man.
So you keep saying that we're doing okay. We're doing all right. One, can you please name what is a lot of billionaires or millionaires rather compared to our counterpart?
Oh, I can't give you a whole bunch of names. I mean, I could give you celebrities, or I could give you some of the rappers. Okay. I could do that. Yeah, I could give you Jay-Z. You have Master P. You have who else do you have? Kanye West. A lot of these people actually look back at some of these guys and took some of their formula and made it better.
Okay, can you also give me your opinion, because you haven't really touched on the studies. So when the studies and reports that I provided evidence that undeveloped brains of our youth, particularly children and adolescents, while experiencing poverty and other stressors, are more susceptible to adapting violent behaviors in response to their exposure to violence in music and media. What are your thoughts on that? I don't hear you talk about that. It's almost like you consider the reward that came from some of the rappers, but the rappers didn't have anything for it in the peace effect. So can you talk to the damaging effect that it had on the underdeveloped brain of youth, particularly those that were large consumers in Correct?
I mean, if you want to talk about the large consumers, you'd have to look up the Caucasians, because they were the largest consumers of gangster rap, not blacks.
That's still
so I can't give. So I can't give you. I cannot give you that. I cannot give you that answer. No, I cannot.
So what I'm asking you is, I'm not asking you the number of studies. I'm asking you how you feel, and do you feel like it has an impact on underdeveloped brains?
Underdeveloped brain? You're so.
Yeah, kids, underdeveloped brain.
What's on the time?
40 seconds.
Because okay, go ahead.
Tell you, we have progress.
I'll yield.
Overall,
you said I could say you. Okay, I yield. That's fine. And you said you wasn't going to engage in the banter, but fine.
We have. I'll just say that we have progress overall as black men and women. I mean, I don't see a bunch of black men and women over there doing them shoot 'em up, bang bang. It ain't happening like that. There are a lot of cities that are like that, but overall, no, we're not. We're able to function and walk the streets and function like like human beings. So that's it.
Okay, I was really just giving him more time to get his point across because he was cutting a lot of his time short. So I just want, and this is the last counter. So as much information he could give out as needed for the judges, because they already made a note that he was not speaking as much as he could. I caught who they were talking about. So that's why I gave the little extra time. With that being said, we are going to go to the judging. And we're going to start with Bougie this time so she can do what she needs to do if she needs to go. Bougie?
Can I go second, please? If that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, J-Mo.
Oh, wow. I thought okay. Once again, shout out to the contestants, everybody for participating in this. I usually go off of what I call a PIAA format when I do my judging, like presentation, information, authenticity, and accuracy. I scored Tania 6-4 in the first round, 5-4 in the second, and 5-4 in the third. Reason being, I don't think you really utilized your time as much as you should have, Elder. Maybe some visuals would have helped. I mean, on both sides. But Tania gave more of a presentation. It's almost like she came out swinging. And like you was defending yourself, but didn't really throw too many punches back, especially in the first round. So, with that being said, Tania is winning in the categories for me because she brought out, it's like she came from so many different angles. And yeah, I don't want to drag it out too much, but yeah, it's all 3 rounds went in Tania's favor.
Okay, so let me just be clear. You gave 6-4, 5-4, and 5-4. That's your 3 scores, right? Okay. We're going to Bougie.
Okay.
If you're ready? Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, so for me, I'll tell you the scores first for me. So I scored Tania 5, the first round, Slim 3. For the second round, I scored Tania 4 and Slim 3. And for the last round, I scored Tania 3 and Slim 5. I don't think there was enough evidence to explain the issues. I would have preferred more visual evidence, even though you did explain with verbally, Tania, you didn't present evidence on the screen, which I would have appreciated. Master Slim, you didn't provide any evidence really. It was more opinion based when it comes to evidence. You didn't counter. Tania brought up a lot of points, and you didn't counter a lot of the points. You just had one track that you stuck to, and you didn't, so she was very passionate in her argument, and she, raised a lot of issues and points that you could have debunked or confirmed. The thing about the consumer stats when it comes to white and black, when it comes to who was the biggest consumer, I do think, Tania, you got that wrong, and that should be addressed. I think you presented a very clear case, Tania, and you explain your position clearly. Master Slim, I was looking for a bit more passion, a bit more energy. But yeah, that's how I scored it. So for me, it was Tania.
Perfect. We're going to Mugga.
Okay, so I just want to might be a little long-winded. But for the first round, I definitely feel like Tanya dominated the first round. When she spoke about the East Coast, West Coast beef, she spoke about the 30% of gang violence increase. I do feel like Slim could have countered that when she was speaking about how the media was portraying black people. I feel like Slim could have countered that by speaking about how we were already being portrayed by the media or from outside sources. But again, Slim didn't really give that much information. And also, Tanya, I feel like you could have did better even speaking about how Tupac's life was influenced by rap, gangster rap, because he didn't start off in that area. So for round 1, I gave Slim 4 and I gave Tanya 5. For round 2, I gave Tanya 6 and I gave Slim 4. And the reason why is because Slim had a good answer to Tanya's question as far as what has rap done for us as a collective in the community, and he said that it brings us together, it unites us, and I think that was like an awesome answer. But also he did keep explaining his opening statement over and over again for round 2. So basically for round 2 he said the same thing that he said for round 1. That's why he got a 4. Tanya explained the economic standing that we were in. I think that was good. She broke down the timeline of the biased representation of us. She was very precise, so that's how that went. And then for round 3, for round 3, I scored Slim a 5 and Tanya a 5. So the reason for that was because Tanya broke down how the youth was being exploited. Slim's rebuttal was basically, well, we're the parents. I just feel like it was a moot point because when it comes to influence, we all know that there are environmental influences, but also there are the influences that you have in a home. So I just think that's just a kind of a subjective viewpoint. So I gave them both 5 points on that.
Perfectly said. We're going to General.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, it's a little loud right here. I'm actually at work right now. But I'm going to just go with the scores that I got. First round, I gave Tanya 6. Slim, I gave 3. Second round, Tanya 5, Slim 2. And also the last round, Tanya 6 and Slim 0. And the only reason I gave him 0 because, and I'm for that rap did not ruin the black community. And the only reason I say Tanya won this battle is because of her research. And Slim didn't give enough research to prove why it didn't ruin our community. But which we all know it was crack that actually ruined the community instead of rap. But as far as the debate itself, Tanya she just provided more information, in-depth information that led her to win this debate, in my opinion. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. We are going to Ruby.
Okay, hey Issa. Slim, let's see here, Tanya. I'm gonna start off with, let me open this up real quick, give me a second. I want to do it like this. So I went straight off of mainly off of your criteria that you provided for the judging. So each round, I want to start off, let's see here. I'm going to go with, I'll give out my numbers. So Slim, round 1, I gave you a 3. I thought you did a good job when you first opened up, but in comparison, right, there's these things here. I thought you explained your position, but you didn't provide enough evidence, which was already, or at least information. I won't even say evidence, information. That was a theme throughout each and every round. Round one, Tanya, I gave you a 6. You came out here swinging. It seemed like you was ready. I'm going to just leave it at that. The information was definitely piled up and ready. Slim, I don't know how you felt about this debate, but like, listen, beyond the information shared, even the way that you sound, I want to just tell you, you sound like you wasn't like you didn't want to do this today. Like, I don't know, sometimes even just the way you communicate it could even just bring in the audience more. That wasn't spoke to. Now, round two, when you had your fact check, Slim, it wasn't yours, it was Tanya's, but as far as I can tell, you still fact check when it came back. So I gave you a 5 for that round, and I gave Tanya also a 5 for round 2. Round 3, I think, Slim, right? At that point, I think you was ready to go home. Okay. But I don't think that gangster rap ruined the black community. However, like everyone else said, they've already touched these points. It was the information and the passion for me, and perhaps a little bit of visuals would have helped. I don't know. 5 for Tanya. Good job all the way around. That's it for me. Oh, wait, one more thing. I was a little bit, I thought maybe if you guys could have had argued maybe on the same artist, would have provided more even footing for some of that back and forth. So if you guys would have picked specific artists within gangster rap to argue, might have helped. All right, I'm done.
Okay, well, one quick question. I don't think I caught what you gave Elder for the third round. 5 Tanya, and what for Elder?
3.
Gotcha. Okay, with that being said, while I'm getting the score together, Tanya, Elder, do you have any last words? Anybody? It's open floor to speak while I'm getting the score together.
Okay, I thought we had a closer.
Huh? Oh, we didn't agree on a closer. We did the opening statement in 3 rounds.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Okay.
It's an open floor right now. I can speak.
So, I do have a question because that fact is not a fact. And it's not. Like, I'm telling you from my, like, how do we choose what source is better than the other source? Because there's no way that they can actually track that, and to give him a point based on that fact, his argument was still slim to none, no pun intended. And I feel like I was being judged on counters instead of my actual presentation on round 3, which was about how misogynistic views, which I actually gave how young boys were actually viewing women based on listening to rap music and what was seen in the media. And Slim kept repeating the same thing over and over again. He said it brought us together, but clearly it didn't bring us together. That is subjective. It's objective to say that it actually caused killings and murders. And we saw that the examples that I gave with Tupac and Biggie, and I did stay on them a lot. I stayed on Little Kim a lot. I stayed on Foxy Brown a lot. So I think that round 3 somehow got missed, like my round 3 on misogyny, on how women suffered. Because I talked about how men, and everybody got that in round 1, but when I talked about how women suffered, it's like the points that he's bringing up were that it brought us closer, and that's more of that's opinion based. Gangster rap music did not bring us together. There's so many activists that I felt I just didn't even mention because I wanted to use my own words. But there's Dolores Tucker, there's so many reverends, there's so many people in the black community. When I talked about gang violence increasing during the same time, and they correlated it back to the music and the culture. Like, there's no way gangster rap music brought us together.
But so when I judged that part, round 3, at the end of the day, it's still subjective. Like, yes, there are stats saying that the killings increased, but just pinpoint it and say it's solely based off of rap music. to me, that's subjective. We don't know what other environmental influences were going around those children. So yes, I still keep my score the same as what it is. I still feel like that's subjective with the stats included. We can't solely just say, oh, because they listen to rap music in the
It's not
70s,
basing.
making
It's
rap
not me
music
saying it.
between young
It's
boys that's the main influence why killings increase. I don't agree with that.
Well, I wanted to say right quick that in essence, I actually leaning more towards Elder when it comes to the actual point. But the information that she put out there was like a tidal wave. I feel like for you, like you could, if you would have picked the right conversations and points to have, you probably would have got better scores. But I don't think I ever heard anybody get scored a 0 for a round. Like that's the first for me.
Oh, I want to add this too for you, Elder. In round
Dang, I
three,
feel so
the
bad for you,
reason
man.
why I consistently gave Tanya a higher score is based on two, right? There's the part of there where you were supposed to directly address um, her argument. There's a couple of times where you could have directly asked her a question. She kept drilling you with them questions, boy. You missed a couple of times where you could have questioned some of those arguments. That was another thing I had to ding you on. That's it.
You know,
No,
I can
I'm not.
Axel,
I'm.
if you don't stop hopping your big bill ass in the box, yeah, that's
Yeah. I think even though Tanya, you presented your case better, I agree with Master Slim first, but you did present your case better.
yes. We are going to the popular vote. We are going to go with what it's not being counted. So calm down. The comments is
I'm
going
not
to
saying
vote.
anything.
Popular vote. I need you to put a 1 in the comments for Tanya and a 2 in the comments for Elder Slim. Okay, with that being said, while we're doing the popular vote, I just want to remind y'all that this is going to be the last debate of September, but we are coming back in October. We have a Let's Talk About Islam panel featuring God Energy, where he'll be presenting the historical origins of Islam in its Judeo-Christian context and the hidden truth of Islam, if you will. We have a You Is Black panel coming, where we will be talking about the historical context of being black and how the word was hijacked by white supremacy. We also have a Kamala Trump team debate coming up, which I'm very excited for. So all these are, and some other great things, all coming forth in October. And I hope y'all come through. It's gonna be really cool. And with that being said, it looks like Tanya won that popular vote, and also Tanya won the debate for tonight. And it was a great debate on both sides. I have my little conversation. Yes, I have my conversations, but we're gonna leave that for Kenzo's panel at the after hour show. So please, I'm gonna give the panel to him, but also if you are going to do something else, please follow him. Go back to his panel. Let's talk about all this messiness that happened. I'm pretty sure Elder, Tanya, all of the judges is gonna be there at least for a little bit to talk about what happened tonight.
Can we?
Does anybody
you have
else?
the number?
Mm-hmm.
By any chance?
Yeah, yes, I have the number. We have Tanya in the lead with 77 and Elder Slim with a 53.
Boo.
I was trying to spare you, but she had. So what I'm gonna say is, again, thank y'all for coming out and listening to us for a couple of hours. I wanna end the live because I know a lot of people got things to do. I'm gonna give everybody their last little hurrah to speak up. I'm going to start with the debaters. Please keep it short and sweet because we got other people coming up behind you. Elder, how you feeling? What you got to say?
I hope I see Tanya on I-95 so I can run her ass over. But, hey, Tanya, hey, look, great job. You know what I'm saying? Great job. I ain't think you was going to come in fighting like that, so I should have expected more from you. But it's all good. You got it. You got it. Congratulations.
Do you know her?
You. I really actually didn't underestimate you. I was expecting you to come a little harder. I guess I should have been listening because I did have some stuff in my closing statement, but that's my bad. But yeah, thank you to
I had a closing statement too. Why can't we do closing?
I thought for some reason it was opening and closing, but it's all good. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to Elder. This was fun. I learned a lot. I've changed some of my viewpoints as I was a person who didn't believe that any art or music would impact people in such a way. And so after doing much research, and also shout out to Bounty Hunter. So after doing much research, I changed my viewpoint and I had to kind of do some self-reflecting.
Now you would have changed your viewpoint.
Shut up. Specifically because the youth aspect of it. I just had to reevaluate how it affected me and how I saw things as a youth and how it impacts me now as a woman. So, anyway.
We're going to you, Ruby.
Oh, all right, everyone. Listen, I enjoyed the debate. Elder, also Tanya, both good jobs, great jobs. Thank you for letting me up here. That's about it. Listen. I'm ready for the next one. Let's go. That's it. All right, y'all.
General, if you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. I really enjoyed the debate. Slim, we'll talk later. But if Chola is in here, I want a round two. I'm just putting it out there in the atmosphere. Chola round two, I'm challenging you. Thank you.
Mother, do you have anything to say? I'm going to take that as a no, Bugger. We're going to come back to you.
Oh, my bad.
J-Mo?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I don't know what you thought. I don't know. But I'm really disappointed. That's all I got to say.
J-Mo, and then we're
Can
going
we judge each other? That would be fun.
Oh, shit.
Round 1, me 6, Slim 2. Round 2, me 4, Slim 0. Round 3, me 6, Slim 0.
What the? Hold up. How you get 3 zeros and shit, man? How the fuck does this work? That's crazy. I don't think I ever seen that in debate history. But shout out
we
to the
breaking all types of records tonight.
Shout out to the panel. Shout out to all the judges that came through. Much love. Shout out to Issa for holding this lovely debate panel. All I'm gonna say is that I'm not really a fan of women debating men because I feel like it's a lose-lose situation either way. But I think you underestimated her. That's what I think. I think that, you looked at it like, well, you know what? My point is valid. It should be a walk in the park, but you didn't really utilize your time the way you should have. And you gave her the advantage because, like I said, she came out swinging. But I don't want to drag it out.
That's because she was at home in the mirror reciting these words.
Oh, okay. I can dig it. I mean, like the Martin Luther King out dream.
Excuse me. blankly, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out there. Tanya, you posted nothing but opinions. There was no type of facts whatsoever, and then for y'all to sit there and
Wait,
question the fact check.
hold on, brother. You gonna have to wait for the after hour show. We're gonna let you wait for the after hour show, brother. That's what we're gonna do.
I sourced the FBI report. I sourced the American Psychology report. I sourced a lot of different things. I ain't hear one source from Slim, so I think he gave his opinion. So
I love you guys, but just the people on the panel. That's for Kenzo's after show. If I let you say it all here, what you gonna say over in his panel? So with that being said, does anybody else? I think Bougie Mom has something that she wanted to say as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to be a judge. Both of them did well. Tanya, you did do the best. Yeah, it was fun. And thank you, Ika, because you provided a good platform and had a very organised debate. It didn't take too long. Some of these debates drag on for hours. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. With that being said, I'm about to pass the panel over to Kenzo. Y'all do your last chance. Please follow Kenzo so you can join in the after hour show. With that being said, thank y'all for joining me at the DOC, the Duel of Concepts. I really appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all over there.
Peace out, y'all. A-Town.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out. Peace out.